Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for my next Cool Katz Quickies video. And today I've gone through my die collection of my Cool Katz dies, and I've pulled out my Whisker dies. So the Whisker dies were where the Cool Katz pretty much started. These are cool little decorative edges dies, but they come in really useful for scrapbooking and things. So they're called whiskers, like cat's whiskers, because that's what they look like. So you've got Victorian, you've got Walrus, they're also Mexican, which I haven't got out right now. And also the ones I'm going to use today are the Batwing ones. These are my favourite. If you're going to get a set, I'd recommend the Batwings. They are my favourite. So these are great to use in different ways. You can grab your cardstock and you can cut across the top and you will get a nice decorative tag. You can turn it around and it'll make more of a pocket shape. You can just glue around. But today I'm going to show you how to use them to make our little deep pockets. And there are different ways you can use them, but I'm going to show you a method which is going to save you paper. I'm going to do the paper saving method. So this is one of the Batwing whiskers used to make a decorative pocket here. And as you can see, the paper does go underneath like so. So let's see what I have. So to start with, I've got my pocket page. So this can be any size you want. And I've got a pocket ready-made here as well. Just a rectangle with 1/2 inches tops across the bottom and down the two sides, just like we do a normal pocket if you've seen my videos before. Now this page actually does fit into a Morgana album cover, just to show. So I've got the Cafe Parisien 8x8 papers, and it is following my Morgana base page album. So if you wanted to make a page for your Morgana album, here's one you can do. So the page is 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. So my pocket is going to be 7 3/4 with an extra 1/2 inch on each side, and it's going to be a 3-inch deep pocket, and I've added 1/2 inch, so it's 3.5 by 8 3/4. So let's have a look at what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to cut my papers. So my paper is going to be 1/4 inch less than my base page. So I'm going to cut it at 7.5. And then I'm just going to cut the title page off the top. And I've kept the length, the height at 8 inches. So this is much longer than I need to cover this. The reason being, I'm going to be flipping over my pages or my paper. So that'll give me the extra depth to go underneath here. Otherwise, you would struggle to do that because I'm flipping. If you wanted a pattern continuation going up, so you wanted that paper carrying on, you would need to cut this to the size you want it straight away. So let's have a look now then. I'm going to grab my low tack tape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper, and normally I'm going to have to put it on the side for you to see. I would place it there, so I've got an equal edge down this bit, and this bit. Can you see? You can sort of see here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to double the depth on the bottom. So I'm sliding it upwards. Because later on, actually I wanted the other way around. Later on, I'm going to be sliding this decorative paper downwards. So that's why I've got a double at the bottom. There we go. Now, an easier method would be to cut a piece off the bottom and just stick it down, touching the black. The only problem with that then is you're taking away quite a depth here with this particular whisker, which would mean if I'd cut this off, that bit wouldn't then be enough to cover the depth I'm going. So this way I'm saving the paper and I'm getting all out of this one paper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to draw a line with the top of my black cardboard there. That is so I can centralize my whisker, because they've got these cool little notches each end which show where the blade is. So when I go like this, I will know I've got it straight because the pencil line and the notches are lined up. But we've also got this line here in the middle. So that's another centralizing one. So my paper was 7.5, which means 3 3/4 is my halfway line. So I'm just going to do a line there. And now I'm going to be able to line up all 3 of my alignment notches, which means it's all centralized for me. So I'm just going to tape it down in place. And the middle there. I'm going to send it through my die cutting machine. Now, if you've only got a small machine, you could cut off this paper and you can still do this method, and then you just have to have another sheet to go behind. But if you've got a larger machine, I can send this through in my platinum. There we go. So what I've done is I've cut through the paper and the cardstock. So this now is my waist. So you can see the shape of the pocket already. And then when I take off my tape, be careful, we don't want to be tearing our paper. There we go. So we've taken off the die and you can see how it's cut that shape there. And take it off. So now what I'm going to do is just take my scissors and across that pencil line, just take a cut, and on this side, we're going to cut. And there you have your decorative pocket. Now I said, if you were doing pattern continuation, you would just place it there. But because we're flipping it over, we've actually got some extra height, which means it's all going to be covered underneath it. I can tuck it in. So it just gives me a bit of leeway. Now this has gone through the die cutting machine, so my scoring lines are not as prominent as they once were. So all I can need to do is pop it back into my scoreboard and redo those 1/2 inches. So as I said, this pocket could be any size you want. It's just the technique I'm showing you today. And place some tape. I'm just going to notch off my corners. And I'm going to burnish this nice and flat. So I'm going to get a nice harsh burnish. Go. And turning it over, I'm going to burnish it from this side because we do want to get nice and flat. Otherwise, what you have is this bow in the middle, which you don't really want to happen. So I'm using the corner of my tool, getting it in nice and sharp. There we go. And now make sure my pocket's opening the correct way. We're just going to attach the pocket to the bottom of my page. Now, because we've cut through with a paper on top, you may get some white residue from the paper there. Just take some black soot and run over it. If you do have a little bit of a notch there from where the die and your cutting isn't, just trim it off as well. And if you take the black soot or whatever distress ink, excuse me, colour using, take it across. That will just sort of camouflage a bit more of the design. So if it isn't perfectly straight, that black soot sort of masks it. And just re-ink. I'm just going to do the top and the sides of this one. But you can see I could have put my Batwing, instead of that way, if I put it that way, you would get a mountain pocket, which also looks quite nice. So let's take off the tape from here. So I'm holding my pocket down nice and flat. Got my Cool Katz bookbinding glue. So I'm just going to take it around the edge. Go. I'm going to place that in line. Because we took the paper up, we've now dropped it back. We've got that little black edge of our cardstock, and because we're flipping this over, I don't need to rub out any of my pencil lines. So a really nice, quick page for your Morgana album or any other album you're making. Just one die from the set. So if you don't like this big one, you could just have a small little notch going in. But again, still using the same method. So I hope you enjoyed this Cool Katz Quickie. As I said, it was just a pocket using a Whisker die to add some dimension to our pocket. So thank you for watching, and if you've got any ideas for future Cool Katz Quickie, if I can help out with anything, please comment in the section below, and give it a thumbs up, and just a general comment really does help. It does help the channel quite a bit, which you probably do not even realise. Just a simple comment, a simple thumbs up does mean a lot. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again for another Cool Katz Quickie very soon.